everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at the special and regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Pacifica. It is September 8th. We are starting at 6:04 p.m. And could we please have roll call?
Councilmember Wright.
Present.
Councilmember Espinoza.
Here.
Councilmember Beer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bowles.
Here.
Mayor Beckmeyer.
Present. If anyone in the audience didn't place a parking pass on their dashboard and they're parked in one of those spots that's right where the city council members and staff park, I recommend that you put a parking pass on your vehicle. I will read the land acknowledgement. The City of Pacifica acknowledges that we occupy the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We honor the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples for their enduring commitment to Mother Earth. As the indigenous protectors of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place, as well as for all persons who reside in their traditional territory. We affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. Councilmember Beer, would you please lead us in the salute to the flag?
Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, we are, closed session report, City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, the council met in closed session and has adjourned until the end of the meeting, and they will reconvene in closed session at the end of the meeting, this regular meeting.
Thank you. Tonight, we have a special presentation from the Fog Fest Organizing Group. I would like to invite John Beckmeyer, President of Fog Fest Organizing Group, and the representatives of the Fog Fest Organizing Group to the front, to the podium, so that we may hear all of the plans. Please.
Well, what do we have here?
Wow.
The Fog Fest artwork for 20.
Microphone, please, sir.
No, we're going to get there. Taking my time.
Yeah, I noticed.
I got 2 minutes, right?
No, you have as
3?
much time as the mayor gives you because it is a special.
Feel so privileged.
Because it is a special presentation.
Well, I won't abuse my privilege. This artwork is done by a local artist, Jason Badowski, and it was arranged by Aaron Gregory of Cotton Crustacean fame here in Pacifica. His shop is on Palmetto. He's art director for us. But first, I really should just like to say good evening to the City Council and the city staff and to the members gathered here in the chamber. We also wish a very pleasant evening to everybody gathered across the internet and watching us on some sort of streaming media. My name is John Beckmeyer, and I'm the president of the Fog Fest Organizing Group. The duty falls to me tonight to announce the 38th Pacifica Fog Festival. But I'm just the pretty face here. Behind me are, and figuratively and in other locations, are a dozen board members who volunteer their time and have a significant role to play in making the Fog Fest possible. They're truly a working board because behind the moniker of Fog Fest, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of details that need to be addressed in order to make this festival possible. Our volunteer board moves mountains every year to bring the Fog Fest to you. In addition to our board, we enjoy deep support in our community. Last year, we wrote checks to over 33 groups, nonprofits, and community organizations that provide the labor and the resource for the Fog Fest. Their work starts well before the Fog Fest and ends long after the last guest goes home. We have over 26 sponsors this year. They contribute everything from in-kind resources and supplies to very large dollar amounts. Thank you, City of Pacifica. Without our sponsors, this event would not be possible. I encourage everyone to look at our sponsors on our website and send your business their way. Mention the Fog Fest when shopping and let them know how much you appreciate their support for this fantastic event. The 2-day-long Fog Fest kicks off with our hometown parade the morning of Saturday, September 27th. After the Pacifica Beach Coalition and the Parks, Beaches, and Recreation Departments welcome you in grand style, the festival moves into full swing. During the festival, we'll be running over 300 food, arts, and crafts booths and a kids zone, 4 beverage stations, and 3 stages with 23 music and/or dance acts this year. We have brought back the 3rd stage. Last year, we only had 2 stages in recognition of some financial difficulties the Fog Fest had, but we were able to pull this thing back and make it feasible again. So back to 3 stages and 23 music acts for your pleasure across both days. So please, come on down, bring your family and your friends to Palmetto Drive on Saturday and Sunday, show your support, and have a great time while experiencing our Waves of Fun themed festival. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beckmeyer. Council members, are there any questions or comments?
I have a quick question. What was that website to look up information on?
The website is
PacificaFogFestival.
PacificCoastFogFest.com.
It's on the poster in the lower right-hand corner.
Is it? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Pacific Fog Fest. PacificCoastFogFest.com. We're going to have to make that better some year.
Any other questions,
Yeah, I
comments?
do.
Oh,
Yes.
Councilmember Espinoza.
I have a couple of questions. What are the sponsorship levels?
We have about 8 different sponsorship
Microphone,
levels.
please.
Sorry, we have about 8 different sponsorship levels. We send these out in a letter on our sponsorship level when we solicit sponsorship from different groups. They range from $2,500 all the way up to $15,000 for naming the stages. So if you contribute at that $15,000 level, we get you stage naming rights, banners, special privileges on our website, things of that nature.
That was my next question, so you got it. Where to apply, I guess you had to go to the website. And which streets will be closed? And where can we find parking?
So parking is in the same place it's traditionally been. That is at the south end of Palmetto after the parade departs. The parade stages at the south end of the festival. The parade runs up Palmetto Avenue, and as soon as they're out of the way, the south end of Palmetto becomes available. We have free handicapped disabled parking there as well. Local Boy Scout troops will be covering that. At the north end of Palmetto is another parking area. Again, free parking for handicapped vehicles, and other members of the community pay $10 to park there. We also have a very large parking lot over at Oceana High School on their athletic fields. It's a very convenient place to park. You have a pedestrian overcrossing over Highway 1. It brings you right in, pretty much into the middle of the Fog Fest once you cross over. As far as streets that are closed, really the only street that is fully closed is Palmetto. But all the cross streets that cross Palmetto or empty onto Palmetto are blocked off. So you will not be able to cross. You will have to cross further down south. Was it Montecito or in Clarendon are the 2 possible crossing points. Beach Boulevard, for those who aren't aware, becomes a 2-way street during Fog Fest. So if you have to go north to get to your home or something on Beach Boulevard, you can cross over and drive what is typically against traffic.
Thank you.
Mary.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I have a couple of things. One, I want to apologize for all of us from council for us not being able to attend your meetings this year. It was really hard for us to schedule all of our liaison positions, especially on a Wednesday night. So when I did finally make a meeting, it's really amazing to watch these people in action. So would you mind reading the names of your board just so everyone knows who they are? Or do you have
I
them?
don't have them handy, so I'll leave somebody off if we start naming them all.
Okay, because then you'd miss someone.
Yes, I would.
I got
would
it.
not-
Okay, well, just so the public
And
knows.
it's not just the board, there's also some very board-adjacent people who are not on the board, but are just as active as a regular board member would.
Yeah, it takes a village for sure. And just listening to all of you work together, it was really inspiring.
Thank you.
And I thank you.
I just want to thank.
Vice Mayor.
Sorry, thank you, Mayor. I want to thank you guys for all the work that you do to put this on. This is really an event that defines Pacifica, that is fun for our community, but is also a way, obviously, to bring other people in and let them see what we're about. And I know it's been a lot harder with the increasing police costs for you and for other fairs, nationwide, really, to continue to operate. So I know it really relies on a lot of volunteers, and I really thank you for all your time. And I'm not sure if you said how many nonprofits are
Last year,
involved?
33, and we
33.
wrote I think it was $88,000 worth of checks at the end of the
That's
year.
fantastic. So obviously, they're continuing, they're back, they see that that's worth it, right? And so it brings our whole community together. And I'm just curious, has anyone ever analyzed, like, the additional revenue it brings to local businesses that weekend from, another sunny, weekend? Or maybe that's something, we could ask economic development to look at, or
We
so.
asked, a couple of years ago, when we were in serious dire financial straits, that was sort of one of the things that we were trying to do to rationalize support from the city. Sadly, the methodology by which businesses report tax revenue isn't granular enough in order to pick that up.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
But I would like to say that pretty much when we're trying to book hotels for our, the people that come out of town to help us, they're booked. We have to book
booked,
really
yeah.
early. And everybody says the restaurants are full. And you could see when you're driving around town, it's pretty packed. I just wanted to say one last thing. We will get you the poster in a frame. We wanted to show that tonight.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, Kathy, how many years have you been doing this?
You're
like
not
the
really
OG.
sure, but it's probably about 20 years.
That's what I thought.
But it's something that I love, and it just brings the city together. And we really thank you for all your support.
Thank you. Well, I certainly know where I'm going to be that weekend, and I'm looking forward to another opportunity to be with the community. I think if you haven't made it to a Fog Fest parade, you've got to go.
Yeah.
It is an amazing experience. It's so down home. It's so organic. I love that we have our public works, we have our first responders, we have our community groups, we have dance troops, we have 4-H. You name it, it's coming down the street, and it's very exciting. So that's a big fun thing to look forward to. And then, again, as you said, Fog Fest adjacent, the Family Fun Fest is an adjacent event that happens on Sunday, as is the Fog Jog. So those are Parks, Beaches, and Recreation sponsored events. They're just so kind of part of the experience, if you will, of Fog Fest. So there's really something for everyone. The the Fun Fest is something that grew in Pacifica, I think even before Fog Fest, right? Through Dr. Bill Michaelis and his work in the Recreation and Leisure Studies Department at San Francisco State. So it's another opportunity, and I really thank you all for your work. I know well how long it takes, how many months in advance the planning is underway. This is not a casual event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are welcome. Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Okay, council members. We are going to turn to another special presentation. The city introduction of new city employees. So we will have a presentation from Marisol Gomez, Zach Harris, and I don't know if City Manager, you wanted to introduce anything as they're assembling?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Beckmeyer, council members, Kevin Woodhouse, City Manager. I'll kick this off and then turn it over to Ms. Gomez and Mr. Harris. So we like to periodically do this, and the last time we did it was January of this year. So since that time, you're going to see information and kind of get a glimpse of new employees hired since January, and a description, bio. The presentation slides will have a lot of information, but the presenters will provide highlights. You'll get a glimpse of the humans that these folks are and their actual professional experience and positions. So it's an exciting way to introduce employees to the community, to the council, if you haven't already met them. And we do have at least 2 or 3 that are here in person. Not everyone can make it out in the evening to a city council meeting. But with that introduction, very excited to turn it over to Ms. Gomez.
Thank you so much. So good afternoon, good evening, Mayor Beckmeyer, Vice Mayor Bowles, and council members. As City Manager Kevin Woodhouse mentioned, this is our biannual presentation of new employees. We saw you with a huge group back in January. Today's group is not as large because we're committed to bringing this to you semi-annually, so you get to meet new employees a little bit sooner. I'll go ahead and kick it off. We have our very own Director of Public Works, Melissa Tigbau. She joined us in May, and you guys are all very familiar with her, of course, but we definitely wanted to continue introducing her. Ms. Tigbau comes to Pacifica with nearly 20 years of public works experience, and most recently she was at the City of Vallejo for 6 years, and of those 6 years she was the Public Works Director for those 3 remaining years, and before that, Assistant Public Works Director. And I would like to add that I definitely enjoy having her professionalism and collaboration as a member of the executive team. I think we have a great executive team, and I believe Melissa is online today, but as I mentioned, you guys have met her a few times before, so I'll move on. There we go. We have Newman Young. Newman is a part of the Finance and Administrative Services Department. He came to the City of Pacifica in July under the Information Technology Analyst position. He is a great asset to the IT team, trying to round that out with skills from the both private sector and public sector. Most recently, he has come from the City of San Francisco Department of Technology, where he spent many years honing his IT skills and operations. I would also like to add that Newman enjoys staying active, and he's very passionate about biking, snowboarding, and computer gaming. You'll see that a lot of our Pacifica staff really enjoy the outdoors, and I think that's also part of why they have decided to come to join the City of Pacifica. I should also add, for those of you that are here as staff members, as we call you, please come to the front and we'll take a picture at the end of the presentation. Another Finance and Administrative Services staff person is Nelson Chen. Nelson is relatively new. He just came in the month of August. He is our new payroll technician, account technician 1. Some of you may know Nelson. He's a Pacifica resident, and his children go to Cabrillo Elementary, as well as his children participate in the Parks, Beaches, and Rec daycare program at Cabrillo. So he was extremely excited to join us. I appreciate Nelson's thoroughness with his payroll experience. He's been in the payroll field for over 10 years and recently came over from San Francisco working with one of the largest nonprofits. So he's very familiar with public service, and he also loves enjoying being a resident, but also giving back to his community and working where he lives. And this is another familiar face. Zach Harris, our Human Resources Manager, joined us in January, and he's already done a few presentations for the council and residents. But as I said, we definitely want to give him his kudos and congratulate him for joining our team. Zach Harris has come from the Hawaii Department of Education, where he served as a complex area human resources officer. He has extensive expertise in a wide variety of human resource areas, including benefits administration, classification and compensation, policy compliance. He's always working around the clock to help improve our benefits package, and we're just excited that he brings all his expertise for the city of Pacifica. For Zach, I wanted to just add that he is very outdoorsy and extremely appreciative of living in the city of Pacifica and hiking, and one of his goals is to visit more national state parks. He's visited 6 so far. Did you add any more since this presentation?
Maybe in the coming year.
And so since Zach Harris is our Human Resources Manager, and I just want to add that our thank you to our Human Resources Department for putting the presentation together. I'm going to hand over the remaining part of the presentation to our HR Manager to continue introducing new employees.
Thanks. Thank you, Marisol.
Thank you. Do you want me to click through, or you got it?
Just this, right?
Yep.
Good evening, Council. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to continue the presentation. I'm going to lead things off, starting with PD. And I know they've had some introductions already, but definitely want to give them their limelight. Hunter McGraw joined us in January, shortly before me, beat me to it. In January, he was raised in Alaska, which I find pretty interesting, and moved to California, where he attended West Valley College and obtained an associate's degree in administration of justice and social and behavioral sciences. Close to home, I went for psychology, so I'm like, oh, good for you, Hunter. And I'll move on. So Ryan Kurniawan joined our community as a community services officer in February of 2025 in PD. He is local, born and raised in Millbrae. Graduated Mills High School before attending the College of San Mateo. Currently, Ryan is working towards his bachelor's degree, and we definitely want to keep him as he's working towards that. And we're glad to have Ryan on board. Janae Gilbert joined us, our Public Works Department and Wastewater as an Operator 1. Also beat me by a few days, and in January of 2025. Janae spent a decade in law enforcement, working in both New York and California, and her interest in wastewater treatment was sparked by a relative who also works in the field. She pursued the water program at Solano Community College and gained valuable hands-on experience. And Janae is a very big family person as well. I've had many conversations with her, and she stopped by City Hall, and definitely big on family, which is great, which is a theme, I think, with all of our new employees, is very, very family-centric and proud to be working with the City of Pacifica. Giovanni Beltran also joined us this past month in August, and joined us as a building maintenance specialist in the Public Works Department. Giovanni has quite a bit of experience, and he gained it in Daly City, also fairly local, and gained that experience with Nibby Brothers General Construction. I've already seen him all around the buildings doing quite a bit of stuff. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Don't get me involved with it. But we're definitely glad to have him on board, and hope to keep him a very long time. Katie Wells joined our Parks, Beaches, and Recreation team in March of 2025 as a Senior Services Program Coordinator. Katie was very happy to have this opportunity, and I believe moved all the way from Illinois for the opportunity itself. So very passionate and, very proud of the work that she's doing for the community. We're definitely very glad to have Katie on board. And I found this really interesting because I like to travel. As a lifelong traveler, Katie road tripped to all 50 states with her grandpa, which is super cool, and I'm jealous of that. That sounds very fun. And Amalia Kolokiha Kaufisi joined us as a senior planner in June in our community development department. She is a Bay Area native, and we took her from Burlingame, so thank you, Burlingame, and we're glad to have you. I do know Amalia is here today, so she'll probably be joining us, not to put you on the hot seat for a photo at the end. Very glad to have her on board, and I think that concludes our presentation. I just want to spotlight, though, the theme of our new employees are really proud to be here and are really embracing the small city feel that we have and giving back to the community, and we're very happy to have them on board.
Hey, so are we.
Yeah.
Should we take our photo?
I think so.
Yep.
Oh, me too.
Like, we can take these off now.
We're not working.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, for both, because I forgot.
Okay.
Let me squeeze right in here. So I would like to acknowledge that I forgot to have public comment opportunity for these special presentations. So if there's anyone in the audience that would wish to speak on either the Fog Fest special presentation and/or the Welcome to New Employees special presentation, please feel free. You can come to the microphone now and fill out a card later. That would be fine. And seeing Mr. Marty Anaya approach the podium, please go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I was just telling the Fog Fest guys, I was like, dude, I was working on the Fog Fest. And I look up at the TV and I'm like, what? It's already, oh, that's right, it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Mayor, Council, and staff. PCT's been working really hard on this year's Fog Fest to support the activities of Fog Fest, none the least of which will be pretty much a Fog Fest marathon from now until Fog Fest, so that we can all celebrate and revel in the Fog Fest that has been over the past 30, I think, plus, I got to go back and see, but I think it's at least 30 years that we've been covering Fog Fest. And, pretty much gavel to gavel, just like we do these meetings. So very excited about it, and I'm really thrilled that we're taking much more of a forward position this year in order to support some of the back-end technical stuff. But watch for that on PCT. You're going to be getting some blasts from Fog Fest pasts. Anyways,
Blast from the past.
I think that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers on either of the items? Assistant City Clerk Law?
There are no raised hands.
All right, then I'll close public comment and bring it back to the council, to the consent calendar. Tonight, there are 6 items on consent. And I'd like to know if any council members would like to pull any items from consent. Okay, hearing none, I will invite public comment. Anyone in the audience or anyone on Zoom who wishes to speak on a consent calendar item, you need to remember that you're speaking on consent right now. We will have general public comment after that. And if you could please keep your comments short. I decided not to cut our time today, but we do have about 30 to 40 minutes worth of public comment altogether so far. All right, with that said, I have one card for for consent, and that is Suzanne Moore.
Honorable Council and staff, Suzanne Moore from the Manor. I thank you for continued efforts on consent item number 6, the Manor Crossing, to improve traffic at the Manor, Palmetto, and Oceana intersections. I appreciate the staff reports, which include concerns of neighbors about the Milagro Oceana northbound on-ramp, and I want my remarks for the record and to continue discussion of those concerns. I have great confidence in this council and our city to continue to listen and expand thoughts. I believe a roundabout at Paloma and Oceana with a dedicated school and public bus stop at Oceana High School's parcel on the northeast corner of Paloma and Oceana brings several advantages to the community. It reduces Highway 1 northbound traffic from Oceana High School and Good Shepherd Church and School onto a closer access going northbound. It reduces traffic barrier from buses stopped at the current Oceana bus stop. And it increases safety for Oceana students and the public currently using the stop where, often, folks waiting for the bus sit on the curb with their legs extended into the street. In the past, proposed traffic studies did not go as far south as the Paloma-Oceana intersection, nor did a discussion include Oceana High School to consider a bus stop for increased student safety. If we can expand our efforts to include those possibilities, I think it would be to our community's benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Assistant City Clerk?
There are no raised hands.
All right, then we'll close public comment on consent and bring it back to council, and I have a light from Councilmember Bowles, Vice Mayor Bowles.
Thank you, and I'll follow up with a Manor overcrossing question, but just to go in order, I have a couple of minor corrections to the minutes, starting on page 39. And it's the third, I'll give you a minute to get there, Sarah. Okay, so the third paragraph starts Mayor Pro Tem Bowles stated, and then the last phrase says on the A1 line where it lists the numbers, and that should read HE-I-1. And then the next page 40 at the bottom, again, the paragraph starting Mayor Pro Tem Bowles, and it says AB 130 and AB 131, but it's SB 131. And so I just wanted to note that for the record in case people are looking up that legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions on anything on the consent agenda? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
Oh, sorry, I had a couple on the Manor overcrossing.
Oh, that's right. Please go ahead. I turned off your light, so I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. So I asked staff for an update on the schedule because that was something we talked about at the goal setting and so forth for the year. And so just wanted to communicate what I'm reading to the public in line with the staff report, that the final meeting, the PA and ED approval, I think that's basically the project design and environmental review would be happening in March 2026. So that would be the next time that the council would get a presentation and to look at the two options with the with and without the on-ramp, is my understanding. And I just wanted to clarify that, City Manager Woodhouse.
Did you, City Manager, did you have someone in Engineering or Public Works that you wish to have speak on that?
Yeah, Deputy Director Yip is here and can respond.
Hello,
Thank you.
Deputy Director Yip. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members. So yes, that's correct. The final project approval environmental document, the PAED, will be complete, anticipated March 2026, and then shortly after we'll be scheduling an update meeting for City Council to review the data as well as for consideration on the on-ramp on Milagro.
Okay, thank you. And then I've heard from the city manager that Caltrans is saying that a detailed environmental review is not required for the project, but I wanted to clarify that there are traffic studies being done, right, to be able to evaluate the various options.
That's correct. So there's traffic studies as part of the PAED. There's also going to be traffic sections in the environmental doc, although we're not doing a full environmental impact report. That I believe that's what you're referring to. We're still going to do an initial study, and then we're going to do a mitigated negative declaration on the initial study. And the reason why we're not doing the full ER is because Caltrans is the lead agency on the project for the environmental review.
Okay.
And so we're deferring it to them.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Any other question? Nope, I'm ready for a motion.
Oh, I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Madam Mayor? could
Yes.
you clarify with the maker of the motion that the motion includes the amendments made by Vice Mayor Bowles?
To include the amendments made by Vice Member Bowles.
Thank you, and I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
I heard the motion with item number 2, the minutes as amended, made by Councilmember Beer, and didn't catch the second. The seconder was Vice Mayor Bowles, and the vote passes unanimously.
Item's not on the agenda. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Getting back to my piece of paper. I would like to bring it to public comments for items not on the posted agenda. So this will be for people in the chamber as well as online. As I stated, we had about 30 cards. We had about 30 minutes, 30 to 36 minutes worth of cards. So I'll ask if you don't need your whole 3 minutes, that you not take your whole 3 minutes. This portion of the agenda is available for the public to address the city council on any issue that is not on the agenda. Comments on non-agendized items must address matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. If comments do not address matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city, I'll provide you with an initial warning to stay within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. And if the warning is not followed, then we will need to cut off the microphone. So I would like to call the folks to the microphone. In the first 3 people are Billy Philadelphia, Deborah Crumrine, and Jean Turk.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Billy Philadelphia, and my wife and I have lived here in Pacifica for 13 years. For the past year and a half, I've been the artistic director for Pacifica Performances, the Mildred Owen Concert Hall down in the Sanchez Arts Center. We have been at the Sanchez Arts Center for 25 years, and next year we celebrate our 50th anniversary. I said 50th anniversary. I come tonight to thank you on the City Council for rezoning Site 23. That logical decision let me return full-time to the job for which I was hired, to book live music on Saturday nights. And it's all about the music, so thank you, one and all. I also have some news that we're expanding our entertainment at the Hall. We've partnered with Beach Break Entertainment in Half Moon Bay to bring movies to Pacifica. Starting on September 9th, we'll debut Films on Friday. Show one movie a month on a Friday. Yeah, you got it. We invite everybody to come see our first film. It's all about Pacifica, or at least one part of Pacifica, Chasing Mavericks. We'll also be showing a short on the 19th that's never been shown before. So for the record, I would have come and said all this at the previous council meeting on August 25th, but we had a board meeting with Pacifica Performances that night. Sorry. Thanks again.
Thank you. Deborah Crumrin and Jean Turk and Nancy Tierney.
Hi, I'm Deborah Crumrine, and you're saying it just fine.
Thank you.
I thank you for listening to me, and I have two items I want to just briefly discuss. The first one is I want to encourage you to adopt the 1,000-foot distance to move an oversized...
That item is on the agenda?
Oh, I was told I had to go on it. Never mind.
Nope, it's okay. There's another opportunity.
It's a done deal.
It's another opportunity later in the meeting.
Okay, but I just want to encourage you to enforce or to adopt the 1,000-foot rule.
Be discussing that item at that time.
Yes.
And you had a second item?
The second thing is I live in Sharp Park, and I would like to, I know how committed this city is to its youth. And I am a bit confused that when you settled with ACLU, you made Paloma, which is next to a high school and 2 preschools, part of the parking for oversized vehicles. My understanding is the law is for pedophiles, that it's a 500-foot or a 2,500-foot, and it varies from city to city. But Oceana High School is definitely within 500 feet of Paloma. I would like to see Paloma taken off the map for oversized vehicle parking. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Jean Turk, Nancy Tierney, Sue Vaterlos.
Hi, I'm here to ask the council to ask the Public Works to delay the curb painting scheduled for my neighborhood, Lakeview and Pacific Avenues. It's scheduled to start Tuesday and Wednesday. I know this is short notice, but we didn't know about it till Friday. This is regarding the state law that prohibits parking within 20 feet of an intersection. So Lakeview is a very small street, 3 houses, a duplex, and a 4-unit apartment building. I counted 16 parking spots on the street. This 80 feet, 2020, would pretty much cut the parking in half. It's a small street, very few traffic. I don't think it addresses the concerns of that particular state law about intersections and pedestrian safety. So again, it's short notice, but if you might ask the Public Works to delay looking at that street. I'm sure there are other intersections that are much more dangerous, and maybe have somebody come and take a look at it. Again, I don't think that was the purpose of this particular legislation. Very small street. So I just would like people to address that maybe through the Public Works. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Tierney, Sue Vaterlos.
Mayor, council, and staff, good evening. My name's Nancy Tierney, and I'm active with groups like the Pacifica Climate Committee, Third Act, and Sierra Club. I'm reaching out to you as a Pacifica resident to ask for your support for a resolution endorsing the Polluters Pay Climate Superfund Act of 2025. The Polluters Pay Climate Superfund Act, authored by Senator Caroline Menjivar and Assemblymember Don Addis, is a common-sense bill that aims to hold fossil fuel companies accountable for the damage caused by climate change. The bill will assess a fee to the largest fossil fuel polluters to pay their fair share of the climate damage caused by their products, then relieving taxpayers who otherwise bear these costs. This legislation could raise hundreds of billions of dollars to protect Californians and fund solutions that build affordable, resilient, and sustainable communities at the municipal level. The current state budget crisis and the Trump administration's cuts to disaster relief make it more important than ever to find new funding sources to address these urgent concerns. So far, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors and Los Angeles, San Jose, San Diego, Berkeley, and Albany City Councils have passed resolutions in support of the Climate Superfund. A group of us from a coalition working on passing the bills has met with our legislator staff. Senator Becker's staff assured us that he supports the bill, and Assemblymember Berman's staff expressed support while noting that he will indicate his stance when the bill comes to a floor vote. Meanwhile, we are working with the cities of San Mateo, Burlingame, and Hillsborough on bringing resolutions to their council, as well as to the County Board of Supervisors. The bill will be brought up for a legislative vote in January 2026, and we'd like to pass resolutions well before then. Given the council's support, your support for climate action and resilience planning, as evidenced by the Climate Action Resilience Plan approval and the proposed committee that you're discussing later, you have demonstrated your commitment to take meaningful action to address climate change. Your help with this resolution will demonstrate your commitment to our state legislators. Thanks for your consideration, and I'm prepared to work with you and staff to make this happen.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank you
Sue
all
Vaterlof.
for being here and doing all the hard work that you do. It's really important for our city. My name is Sue Vaterlof, and I'm here because I missed the last meeting, and on the consent was the final approval for the handicap curb markings and handicap access. I am here to say that it's not done. The place where I fell, there's a curb and a curb cut, and there's no markings there. So if there's a shadow, if there's anything, that's why I fell. I stepped up with my other foot, and there was no curb there. And I fell into the giant pole, and I still do not have full use of my arm. And I would like, I don't know how you go backwards, but I'd like all of those curb cuts to be finished, because they aren't. There are about at least 4 on Beach Boulevard that are not finished. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Assistant City Clerk,
There are no raised hands.
is there anyone else in the chamber who wishes to speak tonight? All right, seeing none, I will close public comment and bring us to our consideration item number 1, which is really item number 7 on our agenda. Checking in with the council, do we need a 5-minute break before we start? No, no, no. Okay.
No, but I did have 2 follow-up questions due
Oh,
to public
please,
comment.
by all means.
I was wondering from Billy where we could find the Friday night movie schedule. So like, where can the public find out what the movie is on that particular week?
The Friday night movie schedule is posted where? Or available where? You may please, yes, reopen public comment, please, if to answer the council member's question.
You rang?
The movie nights
Yes.
you spoke of, where can we find a listing and a schedule?
From our partner, beachbreakentertainment.com.org.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And my second question was, I was just wondering if we could find out from Public Works about the
Give one to
curb
the city
cuts at
clerk,
issue,
please.
when the plan is to address those.
Thank you.
Yes, I will follow up with Public Works about, I think what was referenced was curb cuts along Beach Boulevard. I do believe for the project completion that was approved by council, the scope of that project was all completed. Deputy Director Yip can confirm that. So curb cuts citywide are an ongoing issue that we phase in with all of our sidewalk contracts annually.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. Any other?
Nope.
Nope. All right then. Pardon me? Closed public comment? Thank you, Councilmember Beer. All right, consideration item. This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pacifica to amend section, I'm not going to go through every bit of it, section 5-2.03 and other sections as enumerated on the agenda with regard to, within Chapter 2, vehicles parked for 72 hours or more, Title 5 of the Pacifica Municipal Code relating to this parking. And this is the second reading. And we have a presentation from our Chief of Police, Maria Sarasua, and joining her will be Captain Vicente Romero. And I think maybe the city manager wants to kick it off.
Yeah, actually, I'll be doing the presentation on this item tonight, and then
Okay.
and then Chief Sarasua and Captain Romero are available to assist with answering questions.
Oh, good.
So, and there's no presentation slides. This is just a verbal presentation. As the
Wonderful.
mayor mentioned, this is the second reading and adoption of this ordinance. Normally, second readings and adoptions are on consent calendar. At the request of the mayor and vice mayor through our agenda planning, we moved this to consideration. The ordinance was introduced July 14th and supported by a 4-0 vote of the council at that meeting. And the revisions are to the city's existing 72-hour parking ordinance in order to specify a distance to make the 72-hour code requirements very clear. And the distance for that is 1,000 feet. And the purpose of this amendment is to enhance public safety, improve enforcement clarity, and support a balanced approach that considers both neighborhood concerns and community needs. This ordinance applies to all vehicles in the city that may be in violation of the 72-hour moving. And the Pacifica Police Department has received thousands of complaints regarding compliance with the ordinance. And the ordinance update, in order to specify that distance requirement, will make the ordinance unambiguous, and in so doing will help manage PD's already thinly stretched resources. I'd like to also clarify that the 1,000-foot measurement in the ordinance, and this was a question that had come up, is a linear measurement along the path of travel on the street. So I did want to make that clear. And also a question that had been raised is, as the ordinance indicates and the July 14th staff report indicates, while the ordinance says 1,000 feet, that's the requirement, it does say in parentheses approximately 0.2 of a mile, which is an approximate, equivalence of 1,000 feet. The specifics of the ordinance are 1,000 feet. So with that summary, this is the second reading and adoption consideration of this ordinance, and that completes a brief presentation available for questions.
Does anyone on the city council have a clarifying question for the city manager or for the chief or Captain Romero?
Well, thank you for clarifying the linear part. That was very helpful for me. Thank you.
All right, I don't see any lights or other questions, so I'm going to open public comment on item 7. I have 5 cards so far. We'll start with Suzanne Moore and then Chris Redfield.
Honorable Council and staff, Suzanne Moore again, speaking my own thoughts this evening. In 1981, Governor Reagan, in an effort to reduce state spending, spearheaded a repeal of the Mental Health Systems Act, now felt to be responsible for the closure of state-run mental health institutions and the subsequent homelessness of many of the institution's residents. I'm amending my comments that were written previously and submitted, which is unheard of, I'm sure. But the point I want to make at this point is that our community has the ability to come to forums like this to express our concerns about laws and also suggest what we think might be changes that could be made to the benefit of the community. And so assuring justice of the laws and reducing unintended consequences don't fall on legislative and judicial branches. It falls on us, we the people. And that phrase is not overused. Studies on homelessness state that unhoused individuals are many times more likely to be victims of crime than perpetrators. And policies of enforcement that do not address root causes of homelessness can worsen long-term outcomes. Our council this evening will be putting forward amendments to our parking ordinance that I believe have some unintended consequences. And I believe our Paloma neighbors do have some valid concerns that can be mitigated. Illegal dumping can be reduced by resuming the PRC's program of curbside pickup of RV waste. Fears of unknown motorhome residents can be mitigated by continued efforts of our homeless outreach team to provide a windshield card that occupants are known to the resource center. Pressures can be removed from neighborhood streets by providing designated overnight parking in lots, an idea that was proposed in the past and worthy of consideration. The housing crisis is among the greatest social issues of our time, cannot be resolved by our community, and requires regional cooperation and efforts. But we here in Pacifica ask to be informed, participate in decision-making, listen to our neighbors, and ask for solution-based proposals. This council may need to consider a citizen advisory committee or similar group to better achieve these ends. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Redfield, and then Gloria Stoffen.
Good evening, staff and council. Chris Redfield speaking as a member of the public. It's like riding a bike. I would like to thank Pacifica Police Department staff and the city attorneys for their work on this long-awaited set of amendments to Chapter 2, Title 5 of our Muni Code. These changes are intended to free up valuable public spaces for all Pacificans and visitors. It is inclusive of all vehicles citywide. No longer will we have limitless, unenforceable suggestions. I have full faith that this ordinance with these amendments will be administered with compassion when called for and with enforcement when called for, both within the letter and spirit of the law. I urge council to vote unanimously on this important issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sampson, Kimberly Finale. Did I call Gloria? I did.
Yeah.
So it goes Gloria, Mr. Sampson, Kimberly Finale. Please go ahead, Gloria.
Good evening, City Council members and city staff. My name's Gloria Stoffen, a 59-year resident of Pacifica, which I couldn't believe, and a member of Pacifica Housing for All and Unhoused on the Coast. First, I want to thank you, the city, and city council members for continuing and supporting the Pacifica Safe Parking Program. It means so much to those who are seeking permanent housing. Thank you to you. For so long, I and others have been going to planning and city council meetings with much urgency concerning Pacifica housing issues. The 2008 recession, many were being evicted from their homes, and from that, fair rents for all was established due to the high cost of rentals, and now We're just trying to keep individuals and families off of the streets. I'm frustrated and I'm angry. I feel like a spinning wheel. As we all know and agree, the country, the Bay Area, Pacifica, is very much in the middle of a housing crisis. I want to thank the PRC. They provide hope and compassion to those who are in need of housing. They have provided homeless services to 96 households this year. Also, they work on providing families with transitional housing, which then can lead to permanent housing. This evening, Council will be making amendments to our parking ordinance. It's important to note that before any decisions are made, listen to our community. There are so many other solutions that can be considered, such as a designated overnight parking area. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sampson, Kimberly Finale.
My name is Steve Sampson, born and raised here in Pacifica. I'm 63 years old, lived in my house for 64 on Paloma Avenue. Grew up here. My dad was a rock monument right down here. Sampson, Superintendent of Public Works. Lived on Paloma all my life. I mean, the school is awesome, but I've just, I mean, not the point about your thing we're doing now, but, oh God, the views, the people, my neighbors are awesome. I've been neighbors for 34 years. I've been 60 years. Nice neighbors, best friends. But that's all I say.
And Mr. Sampson, this is related to the parking issue, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Kimberly Finale, Ryan. And then I have 2 more cards after that. Hello.
Good evening, council members, staff, mayor, and vice mayor. Kimberly Finale, Pacifica Manor resident. Labor Day weekend was a beautiful weekend here in Pacifica. The sun was shining, the ocean glistened under the clear blue sky. Traffic was backed up the coast highway for as far as the eye could see, while folks flocked to the coast side to beat the inland heat. Whales were breaching, pelicans were diving, and the city of Pacifica could not be better positioned to welcome our friends from over the hill to join us in this magical wonderland. Which brings us to the topic of oversized vehicles. As you drive down arguably one of the most beautiful streets in Pacifica towards the ocean on Manor Drive, a feeling comes over you, a feeling of anticipation and joy. As you descend the hills toward the sea, a bit of a weight is lifted from your shoulders. Peace is near. But as you get closer, that joy turns to disappointment, as if you've only seen a mirage. The anticipation of reaching the edge of the continent only to be greeted by a dark wall of oversized vehicles camping for free on a public right-of-way where only they have the right-of-way, bikes stacked one on top of the other, boxes of personal belongings on public property designed for use by all on a strip of land that is intended and managed by the city of Pacifica for public access and use. That's where the disappointment sets in. It is not, in fact, dedicated to public use at all. It is clear to see that the city not only allows but accommodates the blockage of our public right-of-way. Public access is blocked by entitled free campers. No person or family in their right mind would take one step closer to the mirage for fear of the perception of walking through a free camper's personal space, garbage, toilet, front yard, whatever. As long as the city allows this to continue, the welcome mat is not out. If we want to make some economic gains here in the city, there should be no overnight parking allowed for oversized vehicles unless they are enrolled in the Pacifica Resource Center's temporary safe parking program. It's not only a safety hazard, it's a health hazard and a direct deterrent to the precise reason people come here to visit our city in the first place. San Francisco passed a new policy banning large vehicles from parking on any city street for more than 2 hours. San Mateo has adopted similar policies. If the city of Pacifica continues to assist RV living, our city will soon become a haven for this nuisance. Simplify the ordinance. No overnight parking for oversized vehicles. Lighten the burden on our local law enforcement, and let's put out the welcome mat. Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan, Anthony, Azaro, and Robert.
All right, well, I'll just keep this pretty short. I agree with everything that was said here. Other cities have laws that are clearly defined, and Pacifica doesn't really have laws that people know where they need to move to and how long that they can stay. So I feel like those laws just need to be made clear so that people know where they can move to, and hopefully not be blocking residents' homes as well as their businesses. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Council. Hi,
Hello.
Sue. How are you? I couldn't have said it better than her. She did a great job. We have one of the best police departments that I've seen or known in my 60 years, and we really need to back them up on this. It's kind of a no-brainer. And I think changing the ordinance will solve a lot of issues and concerns. It's the beginning of something that needs to be done before it gets out of control. That's about all I have to say. Pretty simple. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Robert. Oh, sorry. I mixed up. Anthony. Wait. Ryan. Which one? Got it. Ryan, done. Anthony, done. No, Robert.
That was Robert.
Robert, Anthony. Okay, my numbering is all off. Number, oh, okay, I can change the numbering. It's no problem. I just scratch it out. Please go ahead.
No worries. Thank you.
I did not take your time, I promise.
Okay. No worries. Madam Mayor, council members, and staff, and residents, I'm also going to make this very short. I'm not going to go on and on. I think I should give a little bit of background, short background that is relevant to this as far as myself, in order to curate some understanding amongst other people. Because I think there's a conception that these people who rent RVs out and live on Paloma Avenue are in a bad situation and that they have to be in this situation. And that's not true. These people rent them out from an individual who rents them to them, and these people own their own vehicles. They own cars. They actually drive to the street, and then they park on the street, and then they go inside the RVs and live in the RVs, which of course takes up, with the RV plus the car, however many car-sized parking spaces. One of them I saw pull up in a brand new Tesla. So I find it not possible to definitively prove that any of these people are not in a bad situation. I'm not going to assume I'm not going to presume any of their situations, but I find it very unlikely that the majority of them or all of them are. I'm sure a couple of them may be, but not to drone on about that. With that said, that definitely means that this isn't necessarily an issue of supporting, people in bad situations. And like I said, to give some context on myself, in very early 2007, I was born. In mid to late 2008, the market completely crashed. And on Christmas morning, or Christmas Eve rather, 2009, my mom used her last $100 to purchase Christmas presents for me and my two older siblings as well. And after that happened, we had no money left. So had it not been for the compassion of other people, we would have been homeless, and I may have still been homeless right now. So I understand what it takes to get people out of those kinds of situations, and I think that facilitating people living in vehicles near a school isn't necessarily the way to do so. And I think you guys understand that, but I also understand that there are other folks coming from another point of view who are trying to sort of explain that to you as well. So I'm really just here to back the police department in proposing the ordinance that they have proposed, And I think it's a very, very reasonable compromise to say, you know, you have to move 1,000 feet this way or that way. And, you know, given the incidents that have transpired ever since this became an issue, I think that would completely resolve it. So, thank you.
Thank you. I have no further cards in the room, from the room. Assistant City Clerk?
There are no raised hands.
All right then, we will close public comment, bring this back to the council for discussion, deliberation, and vote. Any discussion?
I have one.
I have a light. I didn't have a light 1 second ago, and now I have a light. You can be next. Please go ahead, Vice Mayor.
No, I just, I wanted to explain, so this came before the council on July 14th, I believe, when Mayor Beckmeyer was absent. And there was an article in the Tribune afterwards and some disagreement with some of the language that was used in the meeting. So afterwards, Mayor Beckmeyer and I have had several conversations with city staff, with our police chief and Captain Romero, and also with the PRC. And I'm pleased to see Anita Reese in the room today, and Marina as well. And I think what came out for me in all of this is that you know, these are difficult situations. There's a variety of people who are in these vehicles on our streets. The police are really struggling to be able to enforce our laws. We have more people coming in from the outside, including in parking lots, Lindemar Beach, and so forth. And concerns about enforcement, concerns about targeting, concerns about who's reporting, you know, valid concerns from the PRC too, to make sure that we're not further traumatizing our unhoused population, especially the ones who are meeting with the PRC and trying to get services, right? And God bless the PRC, they try to help anyone who wants help, right? And not everyone wants to. Some people take a little bit more time. But what came out of all of that for me is a collaborative relationship between our police and enforcement and with the PRC, so that we're gonna enforce, but we're gonna be kind, and there's, you know, room for interpretation in this. But it is important for the vehicles to move, to be operational, to be following our laws, and the laws include vehicles being operational and moving. And the PRC also tries to educate people and also bring resources to them, you know, if there are vehicle operational concerns. So, and then finally, you know, we will see how this plays out, right? And an ordinance, any ordinance that the council brings forward that the city staff and police are enforcing is something that we evaluate as we go. And it's something that if there are problems, if there are unintended consequences, we hope that they're not. But if there are, that's something that we can come back and revisit. So I just wanted to say all that for the record.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Wright.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to say, too, that there seemed to be some unclarity about what the rules were, and what this is offering at the request of our police department is clarity, so that everybody knows what the rules are. And I think that this offers that clarity, and I do so appreciate both the mayor and the vice mayor working with the PRC and helping forge that collaborative collegial relationship, and we need more of that kind of relationship and dialogue. We may not always agree, but we need to have the conversation, and I just wanted to express my appreciation for that. And I did want a point of clarification. I heard linear feet, and I don't quite understand what exactly that means. Does that mean you can park around the corner?
Can we have staff address that point, please?
Yeah, the point and the question that had come up was if you have a block and streets opposite the block with houses in between is less than 1,000 feet, does that mean that the vehicle can move to over there or not? Because that distance as a crow flies across private property would be less than 1,000 feet hypothetically. The linear feet in the path of driving is as long as you go down the block, take your left, it has to be more than 1,000 feet. Does that make sense?
Okay, so the line can have bends in it.
That's right. It's as the car has to drive along the street.
Okay.
And the way it was explained to us, the police department actually has a tape that they
Right.
roll, just like a surveyor's tape. Right, so it is a line.
Just my thought of a line was,
Just one line, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it can have been.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
so I want to make sure that, just so I understand.
Thank you. Councilmember Espinoza.
Just a question. Are we going to have signage so people knows like there is a 72 hours in case we have people coming from other places? They don't know the rules. Are we going to have signage specifying the 72 hours? And also the 100 feet? 1,000,
Yeah, no, there's not an intention to create new signage. There will be outreach that the city does and the police department does, and I know the PRC will as well. But the 72-hour rule is a longstanding rule, based on state law, I believe, that is the case in most cities, or if not all the cities.
yeah, the
all
moving
cities.
part is
So,
probably the
yeah.
case. Okay,
and
I
it's-
know it's going to be a lot of people who doesn't know that what's going on. So
Right, and the way, and if necessary, the chief or captain can elaborate on this, but a vehicle owner finds out when they get the warning.
Oh, the warning.
About 72-hour timeline commencing. So, and that information will include reference to the ordinance, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Councilmember.
Oh, I just thought it might.
Follow on.
Sorry, just to follow up on something Myra said, Councilmember Espinoza said triggered my memory. Could you also just clarify when the ordinance goes into effect? Right, this is the second reading today, but there is a period.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Bowles. So if the ordinance is adopted this evening, then it will go into effect 30 days after adoption.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Beer.
Thank you, everyone. And Vice Mayor Bowles, I think you hit on every topic that I wanted to hit on as well. So thank you for being so eloquent in what you stated. And I also want to thank you and the mayor both for taking the time to really, meet with PRC and meet with the police department. And having said that, I think it's important for us to emphasize that PRC should be a regular partner at the table when these conversations come up, because what I've noticed in the past is they haven't been, and we've had to ask for it. And so I'll state that again, is that PRC should be a regular partner at the table for these conversations moving forward.
Thank you very much. Well, I just would like to address the fact that I wasn't here on the 14th. I was on vacation and unable to join the meeting from a distance, but I'm here today. And if there are no other questions or comments, I think we're ready to move forward. So, I move that we approve the second reading. Please help me out, City Attorney. Do I have to read this whole thing? I will. It might be, sit down. It'll be a while.
No, you could just make a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the ordinance.
I move to approve the second reading and the adoption of the ordinance as stated in the agenda.
Right. And then this will be by roll call, correct? Clerk Coffey, the vote? Or, I'm sorry. No. Yeah, it's not necessary to do a roll call. Sorry.
Motion, I move.
I'll second.
And second. Motion and second, please vote.
Okay, with the motion to adopt this ordinance as stated in the agenda made by Mayor Beckmeyer and seconded by Vice Mayor Bowles, the vote passes unanimously.
Thank you, everyone. We have one more item for consideration this evening, item 8. And we'll change our set, as it were, change our seating a little bit. This is consideration of a resolution establishing the Climate Action and Resilience Committee and approving its fiscal year 2025-2026 work plan. We will have a presentation from Deputy Director of Community Development, Brianne Harushka, Program Manager Brittany Hernandez, Management Analyst Elizabeth Brooks, and City Manager, I don't know if you're kicking this one off, if you need to open with anything? Nope, we're all set, and we have a lovely presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Beckmeyer, council members, Brianne Harkusha, Deputy Director of Community Development. We are getting set up, but I'd like to introduce Brittany Hernandez, Program Manager of the Community Development Department, who we will be giving the presentation this evening.
Great.
Thank you, and good evening. Good evening, Mayor Beckmeyer, Mayor Pro Tem Bowles, Council Members Beer, Wright, and Councilmember Espinoza. And good evening to you all. I am Brittany Hernandez, the Program Manager for the Community Development Department, and I am here to present the staff report on the formation of the Climate Action and Resilience Committee, Charter, and Work Plan. I will be discussing the background, provide an explanation of the committee, its charter, the work plan, and staff recommendation. Background. In 2014, the first Climate Action Plan was adopted. Fast forwarding almost 10 years, in 2023, Council appointed the Climate Action and Adaptation Task Force to update the plan. In July of 2025, the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan, CARP, was adopted. And today, we are here to discuss Council-directed implementation, supported by the committee. And for context, all art is provided by MIG Consulting and from our CARP Plan Youth Climate Action Competition. What is CARP? Its purpose. It's to serve as an advisory body to City Council, to give advice on CARP implementation, to engage the Pacifica community by fostering inclusive participation, promoting transparency, and by incorporating community perspectives. Duties. The duties include the following: advise the City Council on environmental priorities as reflected in the CARP, provide recommendations on potential funding sources, present to City Council each May an annual work plan for consideration that aligns with all priorities and plans. If directed by City Council, prepare CARP implementation recommended actions for consideration in council strategic goal setting in March. And lastly, prepare a full update of the CARP beginning year 4 of the 5-year plan. Staff support. Staff role is to provide administrative and technical support to CARP as they carry out their council-approved activities. In its inaugural year, the Community Development Department staff will provide this support. Its size and membership includes 7 members, including 1 to 2 youth. Length of service is 4 years. Meetings will be held monthly and will be open to the public. And governance will be through the Commission and Committee Handbook and Pacifica Municipal Code. The work plan. The task force developed a proposed work plan for council consideration that includes 6 priority actions pulled primarily from the CARP to be carried out in the committee's first 6 months. And now I will provide the first 6 actions. 1, to receive orientation and training. 2, to set up tools and tracking progress. 3, develop check-in calendar with city staff to facilitate CARP-related ideas and resource sharing. 4, attend regional meetings and trainings to stay current on legislation, available resources, and funding opportunities. 5, maintain webpage that provides resources for home energy efficiency and electrification. And 6, prepare recommendations for the February report to City Council in advance of strategic goal setting. This aligns with the City Council goals and its work plan. The 2023 to 2030 strategic plan includes 2 goals that overlap. Goal number 4, pursue climate change adaptation and mitigation by adopting and beginning implementation of climate action and adaptation plan. And goal number 5, broaden public communication and collaboration by creatively harnessing community expertise, advocates, and volunteers to advance priorities. And lastly, our recommendation. Our first recommendation is to adopt the resolution to establish the Climate Action and Resilience Committee. And number 2, to approve the work plan. I, along with my staff, are available for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there questions from council? Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thank you so
Councilmember
much
Weir.
for your report. I'm always happy to see you. So you mentioned in your report that for the inaugural year, there will be staff support, and I know it's spelled out a little bit in the staff report here, but can you just explain what that means?
Yes.
I think it's intending to say that, this is Elizabeth Brooks, your management analyst. Thank you for your question, council member. I think it's intending to say that as the Community Development Department has supported the Climate Action Adaptation Plan Task Force to date, they'll continue to provide support through its inaugural year and as council directs. In this inaugural year, we have secured a Civic Spark Fellow who's going to be assisting the Community Development Department full-time with that, and we will continue to have a part-time program manager, as well as the allocation of one of the full-time employees' time.
Thank you. That sounds so much better than what I thought.
Oh. Vice Mayor Bowles.
Just one question before public comment. Can you speak to the involvement of the task force in these particular steps, since they're not presenting with you? I think my understanding was there were a few members that were working on this draft also, right? And was everyone in agreement? Right, it's coming today.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Pro Tem Bowles. Yes, so the task force, they formed an implementation subcommittee to figure out which top 6 priority actions to focus on for this upcoming year. And they had originally proposed 12 goals. However, the second half of goals will be prioritized for the new committee coming in.
Okay, and then for the development of the charter itself, were they involved in that? And
Yes, 2 task force members pre-wrote the charter, and we took from that and morphed what we needed to.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
I do.
Please go ahead.
Good presentation, and I like the PowerPoint. It was well structured.
Thank you.
Always watch. My question is, how will the city ensure that the inclusion of youth member age 14 to 25 actively translate into meaningful contribution? Oh,
I heard you, but makes me,
sorry. Did you hear that?
Can you repeat it once more?
Sure.
Thank you.
How will the city ensure that the inclusion of youth 14 to 25 will be a meaningful contribution to that charter?
That is something that's still in the works. I don't have a full answer for that quite yet.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Wright.
Sure. You said an allocation of staff time. I'm just wondering if you could not quantify it, but give me a ballpark, because I know there's so many competing interests for staff time, particularly around so many of our other challenges. I'm just trying to get an idea of what the expectation is.
For management analyst Elizabeth Brooks, it'll be about a quarter of her time. For the program manager, who's myself, it'll be about 80% of my time. And with the Civic Spark Fellow that we are hiring for this year, this will be their full-time role helping with implementation of the CARP. And their service year begins in October and will end of September 2026.
And then I was really disappointed to see some legislation that limits our ability to make some changes, and I really look forward to some leadership from a particular vice mayor that we have up here on what it is that we can do. But I'm also looking to you to help steer us towards what we can do and what options are available, and what options are available when that moratorium is over in the next 5 years. And I want to appreciate all the work that the CARP committee did previously and this long journey that they're embarking on to try to make the world a better planet for people like my daughter, for others' children, as well as the rest of us that enjoy it here.
I have public comment, 2 cards. So I'd like to open public comment and call Suzanne, I have 3. Suzanne Moore, Kimberly Finelli, and Margot Mynan.
Good evening again, Suzanne Moore from the Manor, speaking to honorable council members and staff. The Pacifica Climate Action and Resilience Plan is an incredible Pacifica resource and a wonderful reflection of community will and collaborative volunteer efforts. Implementation of the plan with similar dedication under the Climate Action Resilience Committee makes total sense and confirms Pacifica's prioritization and stewardship of our environment. Please support the formation of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly Finale and Margot Myman.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and city staff. Kimberly Finale, Pacifica resident. I'd like to take this moment to thank you for the process that has gotten us to this point, and for the opportunity to have been a member of the task force that worked so diligently to bring this completed Climate Action and Resilience Plan document to the Council for adoption. Thank you. Due to the current federal government's denial of obvious and scientifically proven climate crisis, I have consistently and continue to believe that community outreach and education is the path forward for our Climate Action and Resilience Committee. An article by Damian Carrington, published April of this year in The Guardian, describes a huge 89% majority of the world's people want stronger action to fight the climate crisis, but feel they are trapped in a self-fulfilling spiral of silence because research suggests they mistakenly believe they are in a minority. Making people aware that their pro-climate view is, in fact, by far the majority could unlock a social tipping point. The data comes from a global survey that interviewed 130,000 people across 125 countries and found 89% thought their national government should do more to fight global warming. Currently, worrying about climate change is something people are largely doing in the privacy of their own minds. We are locked in a self-fulfilling spiral of silence. The existence of a silent climate majority across the planet is supported by several separate analyses. A decades-long campaign of misinformation by the fossil fuel industry is a key reason the climate majority has been suppressed, researchers say. The world is united in its judgment about climate change and the need to act. Results suggest a concerted effort to correct these misperceptions could be powerful intervention, yielding large positive effects. The 125 countries in the survey account for 96% of the world's carbon emissions. These results were published in the journal Nature Climate Change. Perception gaps can have real consequences. They could mean that climate policies are not as ambitious as the public sentiment. Substantial evidence exists that correcting mistaken beliefs about the views of others can change people's views on many subjects. This is because people are instinctively drawn to majority views and are also more likely to do something if they think others are doing it too. People deeply understand we are in a climate emergency. Ensuring a community outreach and education campaign is the key to a grassroots movement to collectively move the sustainability ball forward in our efforts to gain a local, all-hands-on-deck mentality. Thank you.
Thank you. Margot Myman.
Hello, City Council and staff. Margot Myman. As you know, I was on the development, the task force in the development of the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan. I hope to be on the implementation committee. I was on the subcommittee for putting together the charter that you saw summarized tonight, and on the work plan. One thing that did get changed that I'd like you to have a discussion about is the time commitment. We had suggested a 2-year time commitment for committee members, and it has been changed to 4 years. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, or why it was changed from 2 to 4 years. I have an idea of why it was changed, but if you all could have a discussion at least on that point. And yes, of course, I recommend that you adopt the resolution to establish this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Sue Degree is coming to the podium. Former Mayor Sue Degree is coming to the podium.
So I was around in 2014, and I'm really pleased that, the will of the people, that's 11 years, right? And I remember the work at that time. It was difficult, and I'm very happy to see this fruition. I was also really juvenated, shall we say, by the children, the youth, even Carl the Fog. Yeah. I think as much as we have children involved in our community things, we can't lose. If you can keep the youth involved and their artwork, they're straightforward and simple, and they have power. So really appreciate that. Thank you all for your very hard work.
Thank you. Assistant City Clerk,
There is one raised hand. It is for Cindy Abbott.
please go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This is Cindy Abbott. Again, I want to thank you for allowing Zoom comment. So if we're unable to be there, we can still participate. I really appreciate City Council and program staff's commitment to not only having implemented the Climate Action Task Force to put together the amazing plan that everyone worked so hard for, but now critically to recognize that a city body is needed to see its implementation through. So just like the others that you've heard before, I highly support and look forward to you moving ahead with this new committee to see that the plan isn't just left on the shelf. And I do know that city terms for committees and commissions are generally 4 years. I was a little interested in maybe that conversation as well, though, related to youth members. For the Library Advisory Committee, youth members do serve on that committee, and they serve 1-year terms. So that seems appropriate if any youth members become part of the Climate Action and Resiliency Committee. And I hope that they do. This is all about their future. So thank you so much for getting us this far, and I look forward to seeing this new committee moving forward here in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no other raised hands.
All right, then we'll bring it back, close public comment, bring it back to council. Any further discussions or questions? I think we need to address the point about the years, the number, the terms. City Clerk Coffey, City Attorney, would someone like to take that one?
The Pacifica Municipal Code sets forth the term duration for committees and commissions as 4-year terms. It does state that the term shall be staggered, so for the purpose of staggering terms so that you don't have a full turnover of the full membership of the committee, then typically when a committee or commission is formed, it's formed by appointing 2-year terms and 4-year terms for portions of the membership.
Okay. And it would be the council's prerogative to decide how many of those initial terms are 4 and how many are 2?
We typically do like half and half. So like if it's a 7-member committee, for instance, that this is being recommended as, then, 4-year term with 4-year terms and 3 with 2-year terms, for instance, or, vice versa.
Okay, and just one more point of clarification. With regard to the youth positions, I saw the question of staff about the need to change or amend our municipal code because we don't have, at this point, across the board designated youth positions on all committees, but will be allowed to go forward tonight and appoint up to, or not appoint, but establish up to 1 to 2 such positions for youth age 14 to 25?
I'll let Ms. Hernandez speak to what the recommendation is, specifically with respect to the CARC. But I believe it's 7 voting positions, which may include 1 or 2 youth, rather than a specifically designated youth position. That was my understanding of what is being recommended with this action.
Okay, one last question then. Could you please clarify for me how the positions are established for the Library Advisory Committee?
The Library Advisory Committee, when it was reformed in 2023, presented a committee of 7 to 9 full voting members of which there could be up to 2 youth members. So there was not a specifically designated youth member position at the outset. They would be appointed just as a regular member. The municipal code sets forth that for membership of committee and commission terms that members under the age of 18, this is for any committee or commission, may be considered if they are residents of the city. But it doesn't make any concessions as far as treating that member differently from any other member position. With the LAC, at the outset, 2 youth were appointed to full member voting positions, and upon the expiration of those terms, the council considered an amendment to the Library Advisory Committee charter by resolution, which then did designate 2 specifically youth positions as full voting member positions for youth members on that position. So it's a little bit different than what's being recommended tonight for the CARC. In the amended LAC, Library Advisory Committee charter, the youth positions in that resolution were designated as 1-year terms, which is a little bit out of alignment from what the code states in the municipal code, but it is designated as such in the resolution.
I remember that discussion, and I thank you for clarifying that for the record.
And then if I may, the purpose for that is, if you're appointing a teen member, for instance, who's in high school, you can't really anticipate that they may be available for a full 4-year term, depending on where they are in their high school. If it's a junior in high school, they may be going off to college in a year or 2.
Understood. Thank you.
And so, Madam Mayor, if I
Yes.
may.
Yes,
So
please.
just to clarify, so the code right now, as it is, specifies that committee members have a 4-year term that can be staggered, but it doesn't negate anything for youth membership. So it's completely within the council's discretion to make amendments to the proposed charter that's before you tonight. If the council desires to have an allowance for youth members that is less than 4 years, that would be fine, but it should be provided with direction to staff to make the necessary, to prepare an ordinance that conforms the section 2-2.106 to allow for that youth membership term.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I have 2 lights, Councilmember Wright, then Councilmember Beer.
I did also want to discuss the youth as well, and I get a little bit concerned when we have seniors in high school not being able to participate, and so if they have to be a 2-year term or
Got you.
a 4-year term, so I would like to posit an idea of a 1-year renewable term with a maximum of 4, and
Up to 4 times.
and that way, if somebody wants to start young and shows dedication and work and wants to continue on redoing it, that they can avail themselves of that opportunity. Also, that way, if it's a 1-year term, we can give perhaps more youth a chance to have a voice, as the impacts of all this stuff falls more on them than it does on us. I'm old, they're not, so.
So it gives the flexibility, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes.
And I'll just add, from being liaison to Library Advisory Committee, and we all know, because we make the appointments, we've had our youth positions, the individuals that were holding them, in fact, did apply again and were interested in continuing in that service. So in the sense of, we're trying it out, we're adjusting as we go along in learning from our experience. That so far has been the experience. I'd also like to add, if you recall, we had a situation, I think it was that time when we were appointing those youth positions, and we had actually advertised them as such, that we had quite a turnout of youth that particular time, more than we had positions for, and we went out on a limb a little bit and offered an appointment to the Open Space and Parkland Advisory Committee to someone who would qualify in the youth category if, in fact, that had been a specific thing for OSPAC. Thankfully, the student happens to be a Terra Nova student, accepted our offer, and has been serving on OSPAC, even though in that particular committee there isn't any of this at this point in time, and was, has been very active and part of that committee. So I'm just to your point about concern and to former Mayor Degree's point about involving youth, and I think the more we are doing this, the better. And I'm sure that's what Councilmember Beer is about to say.
It absolutely is, and I also really encourage full voting members, 2 seats just for youth, full voting members. And so to me, it would be 7 adults plus 2 full voting member seats for youth.
And how do you feel about Councilmember Wright's proposal around renewable?
Oh, no, I like that. I mean, I think they can obviously renew if they want after a year too, as well, right? But I do think it's also an experience for them to come back and interview, which I think is really good as well. And so I'm fine with year-long terms, renewable, yes.
Meaning they would come back and interview?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good
Is that what
idea.
you had in mind, Councilmember Wright, when you brought it up?
I like the added notion. I support the friendly amendment.
Okay, thank you very much. Vice Mayor.
I think we're all in agreement. I would like 2 seats specifically designated for youth too. And my only concern then was that 5 might not be enough of other members. And so I like what you're saying to up the number to 7. Because there's quite a bit of work here, right, to attend these regional meetings, to attend liaisons to specific departments and other internal committees. Yeah, there's quite a bit of work, and hopefully we'll find some good applicants. I think a lot of people care about these issues in town, and yeah.
Great. Let's discuss the issue of 2-year terms versus 4-year terms. I did ask for staff to clarify that. This time, we are afforded an opportunity to create 2-year positions because of the need to do the staggering, right?
It has to be, yeah.
So, whereas if we were in the middle of just appointing people as normal, they would be 4-year terms per our municipal code. Is that correct, City Attorney? So if ever in the future we want to revisit that, it would be an amendment to that ordinance that we would be on a larger scale needing to address. Is that correct?
Correct, but we'll be bringing back the section that deals with terms if council directs inclusion of youth members for less than 4-year terms. So it'll be before the council, and the council can make other revisions as it deems appropriate.
And I think we've seen it, right, over the years that the staggering is very important, especially for our city clerk when it comes to recruitment, and so that there's a consistent amount of folks on our commission.
Yes, and continuity of information, right, that continues, yeah.
Yeah. Councilmember Wright.
From our past experience, I'm just wondering from staff how we've done with attendance with this committee in terms of getting a quorum. Because if we're expanding the size, I just want to make sure that we're going to have a quorum on these things.
Councilmember Wright, are you referencing the Climate Action Task Force that we always had quorum at those meetings?
And how many youth did you have involved?
There were no designated youth as part of that membership of the task force. Youth were involved in their just resident capacity, coming in doing public comment.
So if we had what Councilmember Beer proposed, a committee of 9, with 2 of which were designated full voting member youth positions, our quorum would be 5. Okay, I just want to, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I always like to make sure I'm thinking the right way. So, does anyone on the council have a proposal for, you already sort of started it, Mary, like how many of these initial positions should be 2-year, how many 4, and with the youth positions? Can you make a succinct proposal?
Sure, I'm just going to go along with what City Clerk said. So 4 4-year, 3 2-year, and then 2 youth, 1-year renewables. Right?
I agree with
Does
that.
that sound
Yeah.
good?
Yes.
All right, then. And with regard to the charter, are there, other than that particular question regarding the terms, I didn't hear any public comment or any concerns expressed about what the charter, the work plan includes so far, or anything, the 6 points that were mentioned. Anything to say about that? Anything we want to ask them to do at this point that's different from what we have been presented with tonight?
Can we just confirm when we'd be recruiting? City Clerk.
If once the resolution is adopted tonight to form the committee, then we will open recruitment as soon as tomorrow. To fold that in with the current recruitment for the regular October expiring terms for other committees and commissions and vacancies on those commissions. I just wanted to clarify that for the purpose of the resolution to create the commission, it does not need to be specified the 2-year versus the 4-year terms. That would be done by appointments at the time that the appointments are made to establish the staggering. So that does not need to be built into the resolution. The resolution would just state that there, for instance, according to the proposal made by Councilmember Beer, that it would be 7 full voting members and 2 youth members with a 1-year term duration that may be renewable.
Also voting members? The 2 youth?
2 youth. Full
would be also full voting members.
Full voting members,
Yes.
correct, yes.
Councilmember Wright.
I'd just like to confirm with staff, too. They indicated that it was going to be approximately 1.25 full-time employee hours, worth of hours towards that. I assume that that's budgeted in our allowance with our current goal setting. It's not going to interfere with the future, that we're prepared for this.
So that's the allocation in this year's budget. As was mentioned, we have the Civic Spark Fellow, but the, allocations moving forward in budget years will depend on council priority setting and strategic planning and the resources that we do have available, whether we can get different fellows and how our overall staffing. So it's a kind of a year by year as far as budget and staffing goes for the city.
But what I did hear was that you have a comfort level with it, and that's the important thing.
Comfort level with year by year regarding staffing, not at all. But comfort level for this next fiscal year and the great resources that we do have to get this started.
Great. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, just finish and figuring out the schedule. So, sorry, I'm pushing my button.
Microphone.
In our agenda planning sessions, so far we've identified October 13th for commission committee appointments coming before council.
Vice Mayor Bowles, I believe that it would need to be October 27th for the appointments, just due to how we're seeing applications coming in and timing. We would need to schedule also a special city council meeting for the applicant interviews before we do the appointments.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why it's
So the
important
October
not-
27th is the cutoff or the meeting?
We're anticipating October 27th as the regular council meeting to appoint the members.
Got you.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how this came in line with the study session on the building code update and the REACH codes, but that will be later. So that's not something that the committee will be formed to work on this first step for January. But anyway, there are other REACH codes that are part of their work plan that they could consider later on. Right.
Okay. Anything else? Ready for a motion?
Where is it? could you put the language in front of us that you need? I'd be very happy to make that motion.
It's here.
On,
Packet page.
137?
I can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
Okay, cool. I move the consideration of a resolution establishing the Climate Action and Resilience Committee and approving its fiscal year 2025 and 2026 work plan. Adopt a resolution of the City Council establishing the Climate Action and Resiliency Committee. And then do I have to put the amendments in there?
Right.
Could you go ahead and say what those amendments are? That would be great.
Of course. So the amendments that I heard from council was to amend the size and representation identified in the charter to be that the committee shall be appointed by the council and be comprised of 7 voting members and 2 voting youth members between the ages of 14 and 25. And additionally, the term, the Section 5 in the charter, the length of service was amended. So terms for adult committee members shall be 4 years, and terms for youth members shall be 1 year with renewable terms, one year term, which may be renewed up to 4 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then there would need to be additional direction to staff to bring back the ordinance amending the term sections of the committee as part of the motion.
And that's additional action?
Yeah.
Okay. And also approve the Climate Action and Resilience Committee work plan for fiscal year 2025-2026.
I'll second that.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
And with the motion made as stated by Councilmember Beer and the City Attorney Bizzano, and the second by Vice Mayor Bowles, the vote passes unanimously.
Wonderful. All right, council members, we have council communications and staff communications, and then we will adjourn to our continued closed session. So, would anyone like to start with council communications? Please go ahead.
This weekend, I was driving by Highway 1, and I noticed a whole bunch of garbage all over. So who's supposed to clean Highway 1? Oh, Caltrans. So is there any way that we can let them know? I guess they don't know what's going on. And it is from Sharp Park up to Manor. Really, really bumpers, you name it.
Oh, so like not just little papers on the side of the road, you're talking car parts?
Yes.
And all of the above?
I saw that on Saturday afternoon.
City manager, how would you prefer that request go forward?
Staff will submit that ticket to Caltrans, and I know they do periodic cleaning, but we'll bring that to their attention along with numerous other tickets we do have in.
That would be so great if maybe we could resurface the one about the half fallen down tree on Fairway, above Fairway East, you know, between the Shell Dance and where you turn in into Fairway Park East. There's half a tree laying down. It's been there for 6 years.
Correct, which I believe is not Caltrans' responsibility, but
Oh, God, is it ours?
is GGNRA.
Okay.
I do believe so.
Okay, let's have GGNRA, let's make a phone call to them too.
It would be nice if they would clean up the breakdown lanes too. There's a ton of overgrowth well into the breakdown lane that could present a safety issue.
And you know, while we're on the subject, it has been pointed out to me that the only designated bike lane up and down Sharp Park Road, which terrifies me whenever I see someone actually using it, is full of debris and little eucalyptus buttons and little stuff that really, not being a bicycle rider, I can only imagine what it must be like to hit that stuff with your tires. So that's also One for the list. Okay, anything further?
Well, no, that's it. I was coming from Half Moon Bay, having a great time. Then I came to Pacifica.
You're like, wah, wah. Okay.
So that's my council communication for today.
Thank you. Who's up?
I'll go.
Ooh,
I'll go.
you're so sparkly.
Well, first, I want to start by thanking Mayor Beckmeyer and I always falter with that, City Manager Kevin Woodhouse. I always want to say City Attorney. I don't know why. It just keeps coming out that way.
have a JD
Anyway, I want to
in
thank you so much for coming to the Pacifica Collaborative and presenting the state of the city. I think it was really well taken by all the different sectors of our community, so thank you so much. It's really important to have that kind of information shared face-to-face. And so, yeah, it's greatly appreciated. I attended the 50/50 show at the Sanchez Art Center along with, I know some of you were there too. It's my absolute most favorite show ever, and it was great, so thank you to the Sanchez Art Center. I want to thank Hope and also our other advocates for overdose awareness for both of the events that were in town last week, the Memorial Walk and the Overdose Awareness Candlelight event. They were beautiful. I want to thank fire and police for both showing up to both of the events. It's so important that the community sees our first responders, so thank you so much. Yeah, I attended the Heart Board meeting. It was wonderful. I would like to get a little more information shared at some point with council, maybe a presentation by Heart just to talk about their preservation program, because it's really important, and I think there's opportunities in Pacifica for us to really look at. Maybe there could be a project available for us to work on with Heart in Pacifica.
That would be great.
And then I can't wait for Palmapalooza. Yay.
Vice Mayor.
Okay, I sit on the Emergency Services Council Finance Committee, and it's all doom and gloom there. And desperately looking for creative ideas for finding money to fund our county emergency preparedness, the hazmat vehicles. I mean, we're talking about reaching out to biotech and other companies to maybe sponsor a vehicle and put their names on it. Just so much money has been cut from the federal government for emergency preparedness, for FEMA. And the other really big scary part of the conversation this month is the emergency warning systems. You know, the SMC alert is one thing and people subscribe to, but above that, there's federal warning systems that go to everybody's cell phones who's in the area. So you don't have to subscribe. There's a tsunami coming, you know, whatever it is, an earthquake, and it also reaches people who are visitors flying in or, you know, whatever, from different cell phone companies. Well, the federal, between FEMA cuts and also cuts to PBS, which is the backup, those are the two ways that the county communicates these disasters. So there was anyway, trying to figure out, like, if we need to create our own plan, and then who's going to fund that, right? And so just big conversations about how to do this work and keep our community safe in a very different way. And there's going to be presentations coming to the various cities. Yeah, because there may be more. You know, as we're looking at our disaster accounting funds, we need to be careful that we have enough for what we need. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. And there was Kevin Mullen just introduced legislation about the emergency communications piece. So hopefully that should be a bipartisan issue at the federal level, you would hope. I had lunch with the new executive director of the PBC, Patrick Kavanaugh, he's just a great person, really a climate and ecological advocate, worked with the Climate Corps previously. And then just wanted to announce Coastal Cleanup Day is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 20th, and encouraging everyone to participate, not just to clean up your beaches, but to clean up your roads and your gutters and your storm drains, because it's, you know, before the rains, trying to get everything off the street so it doesn't make its way into the ocean. And then lastly, I got to attend the Sustainable San Mateo County Friends Reception last night with Kimberly as my guest, and Kai Martin was there as the new board member, so he's really enjoying getting involved in that work on the county level. And I wanted to specifically shout out, they have a youth advisory council, and applications are due September 30th at sustainablesanmateo.org. And we heard from Kate Galbraith, who's the climate editor at the Chronicle, and it was just super interesting. She doesn't write the article, she manages the climate writers, but also helps write headlines, and people don't click on articles that say climate change, even here in our area.
Interesting.
Right? I mean,
Do they click on articles that say climate crisis?
She didn't answer that question. We didn't quite get to that. That was something Kimberly had wanted to ask. But they care about what California is doing, innovation, how it affects themselves. So, personally, it's hard for people to think long term. It's more in immediate things that they see happening. So anyway, just really interesting to think about as we start our adaptation planning and how we can have those conversations.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Greg, did you want to go or shall I?
I'd be happy to go.
17 meetings, go. Boom, you have 30
No,
seconds.
I'm not going to do that. It was nice to actually have a break from some of those. And
Well, but not for family health.
no, but that's a different issue. But what I did get to do, because I had the break, was I got to notice that there's these things out in the ocean called whales, and I got to watch whale TV a little bit, okay? And to me, that's a big deal. That's part of the reason I live here.
Yep.
I got to notice that the hummingbirds are in the middle of migrating because they're hitting my feeder like crazy, emptying it every day. These kind of little things make a big difference, and that's a lot of the reason I live here, because those kind of things are available to me, and I just want to thank the city for being there so that I can enjoy that.
Thank you, Greg. Well stated. I had the opportunity, let me just rolling back to our last council meeting on the 25th. On the 27th and 8th, it's totally off topic, but I had an opportunity for a 2-day professional development for my day job. And that was, not exactly like what you said, but rejuvenating for me in a different way. I think especially during off work times, it's very easy to get completely consumed with city stuff. It's like my only focus, and to recognize, oh yeah, I have a day job. And school just started, and we're rolling as new school year, and we've welcomed a second grade of TK, transitional kindergartners. We have 4-year-olds on my campus at Cabrillo. So jumping ahead, staying on the topic of Cabrillo, I want to thank the members of the Beautification Advisory Committee, and in collaboration with a bunch of folks from the PTO, the green team at Cabrillo, working on the bioswales. It's a perennial issue. It goes on. It never stops. But I just want everyone to drive by. Look at the north side, the Cabrillo School side of the road, because the one over here on the other side is a work in progress. But please notice that, once the weeds are all gone and once all the overgrowth is gone, what's there is what we want to be there. And what we're trying to proliferate and bring more of, which is plants that, as our wonderful Julie Gossage on our Beautification Advisory Committee, landscape architect, says, have plants that like wet feet. So that don't mind when it gets super wet, but then there's also times when it's pretty dry. And so anyway, and thanks to Gail Bennett and the fine work of that group, because they work. They turn out, and it makes me so happy that we were able to get that done. Turning attention to statewide, the Coastal Cities Group met last week, and one day, I can't remember which day, and we moved the quarterly webinar to the 18th, I want to say. Okay, maybe not. Let's go back. Commissioner DeJarnett, what is the date of the North County Water District building dedication? Okay, good, thank you. Because, of course, neither thing quite is on my calendar, but they're right here, because it's the same day. And so my personal intention is to be at North County at 2 o'clock, toddle down the street to our own offices at City Hall for a 3 o'clock webinar. And if anybody else wants to toddle and join that webinar, that is for all coastal cities electeds, and I think some staff members will be there as well. I think that's really all I have specifically to share. And any further?
And it was great to see the OSPAC unveiling.
Thank you, I
of
was going to
the
say that.
Kiosk at the Ani Trailhead was so nice. Thanks for everybody, all the hard work of OSPAC, present and past, and Tiger Jazz Twirls Big Stick for his, all the work he's did with our supervisor Mueller to get the funding for that kiosk.
It's really terrific, folks. Take a look. It's really awesome. Okay, City Manager, your turn.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Yes, the Ani information kiosk ribbon cutting was fabulous on Saturday. It was actually the best bike to work day I've ever had. So that was
Saturday.
fun. But it was great to see, OSPAC Chair Arlene Patton did a fabulous job with that. A lot of city staff, Katie Snodgrass, in supporting OSPAC from Community Development Department, all of Public Works that helped with that, installing the kiosk. County staff built the kiosk, funded through the collaboration with Ray Mueller. So a great collaboration overall, as was when we built the GNF Fassler parking lot there, a partnership with the county. I just wanted to comment on that. And then without further ado, I do want to bring up Police Chief Sarasuda to talk about an important event that's happening this Wednesday, Coffee with a Cop, Coffee with the Cops, and she can provide more information, as I'm sure you'd prefer to hear it from her rather than me.
Good evening, Mayor Beckmeyer, Vice Mayor Bowles, and council members. Maria Sarasua, and I proudly serve as your police chief. I'm excited to announce we are going to be hosting Coffee with a Cop this Wednesday at Starbucks in Fairmont, and a little different. We are going to be hosting this event in both English and Spanish. So we will have Spanish-speaking officers there to build deep and meaningful connections with our Hispanic community and all members of the Pacifica community. So I hope that you will join us. We are so excited. So 9 to 11, Fairmont, Starbucks. See you there.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, well, there being no further business for the regular session, we will take a 5-minute break and then reassemble ourselves in closed session. And this meeting, the regular meeting, is adjourned. Thank you.
Wow. At what time?
Oh, thank you. At